Hey guys, my name's Zach Kenner. Most of you know me as the Hardworking Hunter. I've spent the last 5 years of my life making films and capturing awesome adventure hunting stories. Well, I've got some pretty big news. I've actually decided to join up with Zach Bohey and Matt Elliott with Hunt DIY. Bohey has been doing kind of the same thing I have as far as trying to build a platform to share some awesome backcountry content. So we decided to join forces and trying to make 2018 the best season we've ever had. So first, let me tell you a little about myself. I grew up as a country boy in some of the best farmland Eastern Washington has to offer. My dad hunted a lot growing up, and he got his inspiration from his father. Hunting is really a family thing for us. We all go out and try to harvest our animals every fall. Then we get back and come together and have a giant meat processing day as a family. And even try to educate the young blood about the outdoors and where our food comes from. There's an extreme sense of gratitude I get when I get to share my films for people to see. And it's even better when those films have a story more about than just a hunt, more than just the kill or the size of the antlers. Whether it's about family, conservation, or conquering a personal battle, whatever it may be. Now being a part of the Hunt DIY team, I feel that Zach and I will produce a ton of epic content that will show that anybody can get outdoors just like we can. I'm looking forward to a great season with new adventures, new friends, and a new name. Be sure to check out and subscribe to the YouTube channel at Hunt DIY. Also on Instagram at Hunt DIY. Now, what I've got coming up for you is a little more in-depth little short film about myself, where I come from, and my hunting background. Enjoy.
Zachary always enjoyed guns from the time he was a toddler. And he was always shooting everything, including the birds on my Christmas tree. And then coyotes and ducks. And finally graduated to big game. So it comes natural that Zachary is a big game hunter because he always enjoyed the game, the wildlife, the outdoors. Zachary comes from a long line of hunters. Our people have always been hunters. My ancestors homesteaded in Eastern Oregon in 1890, and they lived off the land until they got livestock of their own. This is my dad, Orville Carper, with his set of antlers. It's a 5-point bull. Then the elk supply got fairly depleted, and the Game Commission, Oregon State Game Commission, imported elk from Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and that was in 1912. Then there was no elk season until 1933, and then my grandfather began hunting the elk from there on in that corner of northeast Oregon. And the first year that the season was opened was 1933, and he got a 6-point elk in the big hole of the Wenaha Canyon. And they brought one of the bulls that they brought from Wyoming was Taft, and his descendants are still identifiable to this day. One of my great uncles, Joe Carper from Promise, was the caretaker for the Game Commission of the elk that they brought into Wallowa County, and he was the first government trapper in that area, and it was his job to protect the elk from the predators. And it was his job to hunt down and kill any large bear or cougars that was in the area. And that was in the early 1900s. Everybody in the North Country hunted, and they never believed in wasting any meat at all. Sometimes they shared with families that didn't get their meat. This picture was taken in Eden, Oregon, on the Hafer Brothers Ranch. And this was your grandpa, Raymond Hafer, and my grandpa, Chester Gorbett, and Raymond's brother, Chester, and our uncle, Harvey McDonald. And they all got their deer that year. Your grandpa, Raymond Hafer's family homesteaded on the Eden Bench, which was across the Grand Round River from our side of the canyon, which was Promise. And they too homesteaded in 1904. And they were ranchers that raised Hereford cattle, beef cattle, but the cattle were sold. They didn't eat beef. It was sold to pay the taxes and live on. They ate elk and deer and the game from the area. They were all good shots. They never believed in wasting ammunition, and they filled their tags every year. Raymond was a good shot.
Stop, so gonna get on the ride, twisting and turning through life. No matter how rough it gets, I'll get by. Home moves with me where I roam. It's in every dream I make my own. I'm never alone. I know that every day will always bring me something new. Every day will bring me something new. Bring me something new. Every day will bring me something new.
See those mountains over there? I just found out that I drew my Washington Big Bull tag for 2016. I'm so excited. I can't even express myself, but I mean, I've been putting in for 19 years. 19 years, and I finally drew my Big Bull tag. Can you believe that? My goal today was to come in here into this canyon and get a better look at that bull. I saw that bull 2 days ago from way up the canyon with that giant herd of elk, and I decided I wanted to get in here and get a closer look. And they were quite a ways up canyon when I spotted them 2 days ago. Even yesterday I could see them off on a long distance glass. And when I came in here I couldn't find them this morning. Could not find them. And I happened to glance way down the canyon and I see them come up over the ridge like ants coming up in a single file line, just diving down into this bottom. And so I hustled down here as fast as I could, and I could have shot any one of those elk with my bow at 40 yards. That was unbelievable. And the audio of them mewing and bugling, I mean, it was a really cool experience. Unfortunately, this is the day before season. That bull was a pretty nice bull. I'd have to get a better look at him to see if he was the one I wanted, but he was a stud of a bull. Big 6-point with a couple little kickers on his 5th points, and my heart's pumping pretty good. That's what this is all about right here. I mean, that was unbelievable being that. I mean, I could smell the elk. They were that close. Yeah, that was so cool, so cool.
There he is, right there. Shit, no, wait for it. I don't got him. It's alright, it's alright. It's alright. Be patient. Be patient. There he is. Yeah, right. Here he is, he's coming out. He's coming out. That's him on it. Alright. He's gonna end up on that hillside. Let me get to that hillside. Oh yeah. You see him yet? He should be coming out. Yeah. Do you have the camera set up where they're all walking out to the left? Yeah. That bull just walked out. Okay. Which one is he? Oh yeah, I see him. That's not him, but that's where he's gonna come out. I think he's coming right now.
Are you on him?
I don't know if that's him.
Well, I'm just saying that you're on that spot.
Yeah. Is that him?
That's him. You on him?
Is he just coming out? Yep, I'm on him.
I'm gonna wait for that cow to clear. Just stay on him. Ready?
Yep. You miss? No.
Just stay on him. Where'd he go?
I don't see him.
He's still standing there.
Where? Same spot?
Behind that tree.
Okay.
There, I got him.
Yeah, he ain't going far.
Stay on him.
Yeah, buddy. I still got him in here.
Is he down yet?
No, he's still got some life in his head.
He's still standing there? Oh, I see his horns.
Yeah, just
Okay, I
barely.
got one more shot in my...
He's not doing well. He's coming down. He's hurting though. Yeah, buddy.
That's a pretty good bull.
Yeah.
That is a pretty good bull. I'm so excited.
Oh man, that was all worth it.
Oh my gosh. We spotted this bull from the very bottom. And actually I got footage of this bull at 40 yards a week and a half ago. And he wasn't quite big enough really for an early in the season bull. But then I got hit with weather and deer hunters, and now general elk season opens tomorrow. I got 5 days before general, and the people are just swarming in here. And from everyone I've talked to that hunts this during general, when the people start pressuring these big bulls, they end up in the deepest, darkest timber they can find, and they don't come out. I've been chasing that 7-point for all week. I've been hitting him hard, and I cannot find him again. And really, this was probably the second or third biggest bull I've seen. So it being, this deep in the season, and on top of that, the weather next week is calling for rain the entire time. The last 2 days have been pouring down rain, and with rain comes fog in these mountains, and you cannot see at 200 yards. And so that really had me nervous looking at the forecast next week, and it's just calling for rain the entire time. So this bull was kind of like my plan B, and I figured it was time to activate plan B. So plan B worked, not quite as well as I would have hoped. We had to chase this bull a mile up the mountain, but just kind of tailing them the whole time because the wind was blowing in their faces. There's 200 head of elk up here, and so they can't hear us walking behind them. I mean, well, you heard the elk noises. I mean, they were screaming nonstop. It's not like they could hear us. So, big bull down. I'm pretty excited.
Hell yeah, buddy.
Pretty excited. Stoked. I just kept shooting and kept shooting. Like, I think I hit him every time.
I think you did too.
He just wasn't
Just a big old bugger.
wasn't dropping. Doesn't get much better than this. This is a hell of a bull. Most people go their whole life and don't get to shoot a bull like this. He's just so pretty. I mean, he's got such long tines, good main beams. Awesome big bull.